How's it going tonight, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you guys today, and this is your WWE Friday Night SmackDown review and results show for today, Friday, June 23rd, 2023. The Usos explain why they left the Bloodline. What did Jimmy and Jay have to say? Well, we're going to find out. And Vince McMahon, is he causing problems behind the scenes to destroy Friday night? We'll find out. I got some news for you as well, so kick back, relax. We'll get everything going here in just a little bit. And your WWE Friday Night SmackDown review and results show will be coming your way next. We'll hit the introductions and everything else, so hang tight. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
This is M-Dog20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you were checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T. Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring, Dave Bautista.
Well, Friday Night SmackDown sure looked different. Different in a way where, I mean, it looks like Vince McMahon might have taken over the ship. Yeah, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm going to get into a little bit of news and notes here, so how you doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you right now. Don't forget, leave your likes, comments, subscribe, check out all my social media pages, donate to the show, all that good stuff. Anything you guys want to do, feel free to do it. Alright. So, as I'm taking a look here, regarding the SmackDown swing of things, Vince McMahon's at it again. Vince McMahon makes significant changes to WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Several talent are left frustrated. I mean, of course, whenever Vince McMahon is involved with anything, people are frustrated. Why? Because Vince McMahon has totally lost touch. He doesn't know what people want. He thinks what he wants is the way to go, and, end of discussion, and it doesn't work that way. But that's Vince. Vince McMahon is at it again. If fans thought Vince McMahon being back around creative only meant changes to WWE Monday Night Raw, because that's what everybody originally thought, they would be wrong. According to Fightful Select, Vince McMahon made significant changes to Friday night's episode of WWE SmackDown. The changes were apparently so drastic that one person backstage reportedly asked, "Did SmackDown get Vinced?" There's already a term going around backstage that if things are changed, the employees are referring to it as getting Vinced. Fightful Sean Ross Sapp confirmed as much Friday night, tweeting, "SmackDown got Vinced tonight. A lot of changes." End quote. Multiple matches that were promoted ahead of Friday night's episode of SmackDown were either adjusted or cut outright, leaving plenty of talent frustrated ahead of Friday night's episode of SmackDown. Were either adjusted or cut outright, leaving plenty of talent frustrated by it. One of the matches affected was the previously promoted triple threat match between LA Knight, Santos Escobar, and Butch. Instead, we got LA Knight versus Rey Mysterio kicked off the in-ring action in a singles match, with LA Knight picking up a clean win over Rey Mysterio. Additionally, the planned match between Bayley and Shotzi for Bayley's spot in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which was set up and announced last week via a backstage segment, was apparently cut from the show entirely, as it neither occurred nor was mentioned on the broadcast. An announced match between Baron Corbin and Cameron Grimes likewise failed to take place. So, you can see Vince McMahon is at it again. Very frustrating. Just even reading that is frustrating, but I noticed, watching SmackDown, when you start venturing outside of the Bloodline story, there was not much there. And usually when there's not much there, that means that the show, quote-unquote, got Vinced. Really does. That's exactly what it means. But anyway, WWE Friday Night SmackDown for June 23rd, 2023 is coming to us from the Cajun Dome in Lafayette, Louisiana. Jey Uso blindsided Roman Reigns last week after he finally drew a line in the sand and sided with his twin brother Jimmy Uso in the midst of the turbulence occurring within the Bloodline. Tonight, the three men, alongside with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman, will meet ahead of their match at the upcoming Money in the Bank premium live event as the Bloodline Civil War kicks off. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are set for action as they square off with NXT Tag Team Champions Alba Fire and Isla Dawn in a Women's Tag Team Championship unification match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler captured their vacant titles after emerging victorious in a Fatal 4-Way match on the May 29th, 2023 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw, while Isla Dawn and Alba Fire dethroned Kiana James and Fallon Henley at NXT Stand and Deliver in April. 2 weeks ago, Bayley beat the OC's Mia Yim to secure her spot in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match at the O2 Arena in London, England. Last week, Bayley cost Io her match against Zelina Vega, leading to a heated exchange of words with Shotzi backstage post-match. Shotzi dared Bayley to face her and put her spot on the line, to which Io accepted the challenge on behalf of Bayley. We will see just what came to fruition, or what will come to fruition tonight. So far, doesn't look like anything that spectacular on SmackDown as I open up my water, but you can hear already just the plain, basic, just, non-intriguing Vince McMahon storylines are pretty much what is taking place. And a couple things that were originally supposed to happen totally got cut from this show, and obviously we know Triple H is not going to be the one to make those kind of changes. Alright. Speaking of July 1st, LA Knight will be going head-to-head with Rey Mysterio before he competes in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. LA Knight will be joined by Logan Paul, Santos Escobar, Butch, Shinsuke Nakamura, Damian Priest, and Ricochet, as they all look to get their hands on a contract for a future championship match at any time and place of their choosing. Baron Corbin has been seeking retribution on Cameron Grimes ever since Cameron Grimes defeated him in quick fashion during his SmackDown debut on the May 12, 2023 episode of SmackDown. Tonight, Cameron Grimes will have his chance to do just that as the two meet one-on-one in the squared circle match, and unfortunately, though, never happened. They said it was cut from the show, but I did miss parts of the show, but I got caught up on it. Let's see. May 12th. Alright, so Corbin has a big week ahead of him, as he will be going up against NXT champion Carmelo Hayes next Tuesday during week 2 of NXT Gold Rush. Additionally, Charlotte Flair will be returning to in-ring competition tonight for the first time since coming up short against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39. When she takes on Lacey Evans. Wow, that's a real good match, ain't it? Meaning, Lacey Evans, that's going to be a squash. Grayson Waller will also be hosting Pretty Deadly on the Grayson Waller Effect, after Pretty Deadly became the new number 1 contenders for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's Undisputed Tag Team Championships last week. So, we are live on SmackDown. We kick off with a video of what occurred within the Bloodline last week. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett then greet audiences at home as the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, make their way down to the ring. We hear from the Usos to start off Friday Night SmackDown. Alright, so what do the Usos have to say? Let's get into it. We hear from the Usos. Jey Uso looks to say that the Bloodline is now in your city, at Lafayette. But Jimmy stops Jey. Jey corrects himself and he says, the Usos are now in your city in Lafayette instead of the Bloodline. Jimmy says he's feeling good and asks how Jey is feeling. Jay says, well, we're about to fight. You know, our family. He says family is supposed to have each other's back from day one to the end. Jimmy says Jay made the perfect choice last week. And Jay tells Jimmy that he loves him. And Jay says that himself and Jimmy still love Roman Reigns. And says they followed his orders for 2 years. And he says Roman messed up when he disrespected himself, his brother Jimmy. Himself and his brother Jimmy. Jimmy then says respect is huge for them. As he says the Bloodline became their own faction when they fell in line. But once Roman showed them the way, or showed them that they were not worth anything, they left him in the dust. Jay says that Paul Heyman is the biggest snake of them all. And Jimmy questions how he can take orders. Jay says himself and Jimmy are heading to London and calls themselves the best tag team in the business. And then the Usos welcome their cousin Roman Reigns and their brother Solo Sikoa to the Uso Penitentiary before Jay and Jimmy throw up their ones to the sky and leave the ring. This, in the end, were the best segments of the night, but this was great. You know, a simple explanation as to why, you know, everything went down last week the way it did. And what it comes down to is respect. The Usos are feeling completely disrespected by their own family. They're not feeling that level of respect. They're feeling them lesser thans rather than feeling like equals. And they've had enough. And they left Roman Reigns. So that was pretty much the reasoning. But now here's the thing. What do you do in this Bloodline saga? Do you have Jimmy and Jay stay together, or do you have like Jay betray Jimmy at Money in the Bank and realign with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa? I mean, honestly, I don't know what you do in this situation. I really don't. I'm at a little bit of a loss for words myself as to what they can do. Am I excited for the tag match at Money in the Bank? Oh yeah, who wouldn't be? I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest tag... I'm talking no titles, just a straight-up tag team match. This is going to be one of the biggest regular tag team matches with nothing on the line that WWE has seen in quite a while. Because, I mean, you don't see stuff like this every day. WWE has a gold mine, you know, now to... you know, to have the opportunity to keep the storyline going at least for another year. How can they go for another year? I think it's very easy. You know, all you gotta do is have, you can have so many more people from the Bloodline coming on up into the faction. You know, you could have people like Umaga's son, you know, coming up and joining the Bloodline. You could have Jacob Fatu from MLW, you know, finally coming up and joining the Bloodline. There's a lot of things that you can do to keep this whole Bloodline thing going. This doesn't have to be the end. So I hope WWE is taking notice of that, because you can really keep this going for a long time yet, and you can make a lot of people really happy with some great television like this, because the Bloodline storyline is definitely the best thing that they got going today. So, phenomenal segment to kick off this show. Alright, continuing, going forward here. Rey Mysterio makes his way down to the ring, and then so does LA Knight. We got LA Knight. Yeah! Going one-on-one with Rey Mysterio. Actually, LA Knight, I'm hoping he wins Money in the Bank, really. Him or Ricochet. Either one would make a good winner for Money in the Bank. Bell rings, LA Knight sends Rey face first to the top turnbuckle. He whips him into the opposite corner, but Rey fires back with a dropkick. LA Knight lands a flying shoulder tackle from the apron, but Rey sends him into the ropes and lands the 619 as he then executes a baseball dropkick that sends Knight tumbling out of the ring. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. LA Knight delivers a neck breaker and goes for a pin. Rey kicks out, and LA Knight sets up for a powerbomb. But Rey fights his way out and delivers a Hurricane Rana as he ascends to the top and lands a senton, and then delivers a springboard crossbody. LA Knight fires back with an elbow drop before Rey looks for a springboard moonsault as LA Knight catches him, but Rey reverses the momentum and lands a DDT as he then hits the step-up Enziguri, and Rey looks for the 619. But LA Knight catches Rey's legs and gets him up on his shoulders as Rey escapes before LA Knight lands the BFT for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win. After the match, LA Knight going for a classic old school heel move. LA Knight looks to unmask Rey Mysterio, but Santos Escobar runs down and makes the save for Rey Mysterio. Match was okay. Glad LA Knight won. The right man won here. LA Knight needed to win, and LA Knight needs to continue that momentum going on into Money in the Bank next Saturday night. So, what's next? Yeah, Escobar runs down to make the save after the match. Let's see. Alright, we head backstage. We see Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman just walking around. Ridge Holland passes and tells them to watch it. Solo Sikoa loses his temper and delivers a Samoan spike to Ridge Holland before walking away. We go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Sheamus appears at ringside and he calls out Solo Sikoa. Sheamus tells Solo that he saw what he did to his buddy Ridge Holland and tells Solo if he wants a fight tonight, he's got it. So, looks like we got Sheamus versus Solo Sikoa, folks. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler make their way down to the ring. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn follow as we see that Raquel Rodriguez has taken a seat at the announce desk to watch this match. So now we got a match here. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, going up against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, in a Women's Tag Team Championship unification match. Winners have all the gold, and they'll be the ones sold WWE Women's Tag Team Champions after this match is done. Alba Fire, Shayna Baszler, they begin the action. Shayna delivers a kick to Fire's midsection as she follows it up with another one to her thigh before Isla Dawn and Ronda Rousey tag in. Ronda delivers a kick to Dawn's midsection and then delivers a series of hip tosses and fires off some right hands. Dawn delivers a kick to Ronda's head and tags in Fire. Fire wears Ronda down and then tags Dawn back in. Dawn does the same, quickly tags out to Fire. Dawn lands a running Meteora before Fire delivers a kick to her thigh as Ronda hits the reverse Hurricane Rana. Of course, at this point, they go to commercial break. They come back from the break. Alba Fire hits some right hands on Ronda as Ronda then cinches in an ankle lock. But Fire escapes by landing a step-up at Enziguri as Shayna tags in and knocks Dawn off the apron and then delivers a running knee to Fire. Dawn tags in and delivers a pair of clotheslines and then delivers a kick across her chest and follows it up with a suplex as she ascends to the top and delivers a Meteora. But Ronda delivers a kick while the referee is distracted. This allows Shayna to lock in the Karafuda clutch, but Fire breaks the hold with a Swanton Bomb off the top as she levels Ronda and then tags in. Fire and Dawn then set up for their finisher, but Shayna locks in a Karafuda clutch on Alba Fire. Ronda locks in the armbar on Isla Dawn, forcing Isla Dawn and Alba Fire to tap out simultaneously. Your winners and the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions are Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Raquel Rodriguez looks to leave ringside, but Ronda Rousey calls her into the ring and asks what she's even doing out here tonight. Raquel demands a rematch for the titles that, quote-unquote, we never lost. And Shayna asks who she's referring to, because there's only one of you here. What do you mean, we? Next thing you know, Liv Morgan's music hits, and Liv Morgan makes her way down to the ring and makes her return to the WWE. So we got Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan get in the ring to stare down Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. It's whatever. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are not going to beat Shayna Baszler or Ronda Rousey. I'm telling you that right now. They're just building up for a match, trying to gauge interest, but really in the end it's going to be the most predictable thing that you could possibly see because, there's no way at all that Ronda and Shayna are losing those women's tag titles. So, this was what it was. It was nothing special at all. This women's tag title match, unification match, whatever it was, wasn't that great. It's something that was just there. It's something that just existed. It was nothing that was overly bad, but you could tell that it just wasn't great either, Anyway, Grayson Waller hosted another episode of the Grayson Waller Effect. So Grayson Waller hosts Pretty Deadly on the Grayson Waller Effect. Grayson Waller welcomes fans to the Grayson Waller Effect and introduces Pretty Deadly. Elton Prince and Kit Wilson's music hits. They make their way down to the ring. And Wilson says that the Grayson Waller Effect is much better than the KO show. And the three men, they then joke about the KO show as Waller then says Pretty Deadly has had a lot of success in the 2 months that they have spent on the main roster. And Wilson says Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have earned their respect after main eventing WrestleMania. Princess himself and Kip Wilson, don't feel as though they have earned that same level of respect from them. So he says they could carry on bickering while, himself and Wilson are on the same page. Waller says that he is not surprised because, of course, Grayson Waller is going to side with Pretty Deadly. Of course he is. And Prince says the gauntlet match was grueling last week. Wilson and Prince then rag on all the other teams in the match and say they beat them all. Okay, yeah, they beat them all. They were here 2 months, but you've already beaten every tag team. Okay, guys. You can tell this promo was written by Vince McMahon. Now whenever something like this happens, I'm just going to say this segment got Vinced. Anyway. The Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, make their way down to the ring for their upcoming match with Pretty Deadly. So we got Pretty Deadly versus the Street Profits in a tag team match. No titles on the line, nothing like that. Ford and Wilson begin the action. The bell rings. They both lock up. They go back and forth with submission holds before Dawkins tags in and delivers a shoulder tackle. Wilson lands a forearm and tags in Prince. Prince and Wilson deliver a double shoulder tackle, and Prince delivers a boot to his face. Dawkins delivers a right hand to Prince's face and then tags Ford back in. Ford lands a drop before the Profits send Pretty Deadly out of the ring and go flying over the top to level them. So we go to commercial. We come back from the commercial break. Ford ascends to the top. Wilson meets them up there and executes a headbutt on Ford and then gets him up on his shoulders. Ford reverses the momentum and delivers a crossbody and tags in Dawkins. Prince tags in and Dawkins catches him with a clothesline, then follows it up with a drop kick and a corkscrew spinning elbow. He then delivers a splash in the corner before hitting an enziguri and a double underhook twisting neckbreaker. Ford tags in and Dawkins shoulder pounces Prince over to Ford, and who catches him with a back suplex, as he then delivers a Uranagi and tags Dawkins back into the match. So Ford ascends to the top as Dawkins gets Prince up in the electric chair position. Wilson knocks Ford off the top rope before Prince rolls up Dawkins with his feet on the ropes as Wilson holds them in place for the 1, 2, 3 and the pin and the win. And of course, because of cheating, your winners again are Pretty Deadly. I mean, it was a tag match. It was nothing overly bad, but it was nothing really good either. I mean, what can I really say about it? Again, it was just something that, kind of existed here. It was just there. It was something that was just there. Usually, when something is really, really bad, I mean, you guys spot it, I spot it too. And, so far nothing like this has happened on this show, but you can tell that it's not as good as it could be. That's the thing. It's not as good as it could be at all. But anyway, let's see. Alright, next up here, because I'm making sure. Let's see any of the news and notes. Yeah, I do have something. I do. By the way, Roman Reigns today, on Saturday, just passed Pedro Morales. So he now moved into the number 5 spot for longest world title reigns in WWE history at now 1,028 days. Charlotte Flair makes her way down to the ring. Lacey Evans then follows. Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans one-on-one. This match was nothing special either. This was actually the worst match in the show. And because of Lacey Evans, Lacey Evans hasn't done nothing of importance in the WWE since she got called up to the main roster from day one. She never got out of the box, or, she never got off the ground, ever. And then just stop and go and repackaging with her, nothing ever worked. The whole Lacey Evans experiment to me, is just deemed a total failure. It has been from the very starting point with Lacey Evans. It's just one of those things that has not worked at all. But anyway, bell rings, 2 women lock up. Charlotte lands a shoulder tackle and steps over Lacey and delivers a kick to her face as she follows it up with a series of chops before Lacey sends Charlotte crashing into the top turnbuckle, face first and ascends to the middle rope. She looks for a moonsault, but Charlotte rolls out of the way and delivers a backbreaker. She sends Lacey into the top turnbuckle face first, and then mocks Lacey and hits a suplex as Charlotte hits Andrade El Idolo's Tranquilo pose. Charlotte then hits a big boot and then locks in the figure 8 leg lock with the bridge, and Lacey Evans taps out. Then Charlotte gets a submission win, so your winner by submission is Charlotte Flair. And after the match, Asuka blindsides Charlotte while she still has the figure 8 leg lock cinched in on Lacey Evans. Asuka's hitting right hands, and and Charlotte then celebrates before heading to the back. I'm like, okay, what's going on with that? But anyway, this was SmackDown up to this point. We're already at the last part of the show. We're already at the last part of the show, guys. For SmackDown. Doesn't sound like a show that was very eventful now, does it? Alright. Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman head to the ring. Sheamus follows. So now everybody, in your main event of the evening for WWE Friday Night SmackDown tonight, we got Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman in his corner, going one-on-one against Sheamus. The bell rings, both men rain down right hands on one another. Sheamus lands an uppercut in the corner, and the action spills to the outside, and Sheamus lands a clothesline as he tosses Solo back in the ring and rains down some right hands. But Solo whips Sheamus into the corner. Sheamus then winds up on the middle rope and delivers a clothesline, and then delivers a back elbow and a boot to his midsection as Sheamus sets up for the 10 beats of the Bodhrán. But Solo Sikoa escapes after landing several back elbows as both men land on the apron, and Sheamus gets Solo up on his shoulders. Solo escapes and sends Sheamus crashing into the ring post spine first, and then delivers a Samoan drop on the outside. So we go to commercial, we come back from the commercial break. Sheamus delivers a clothesline out of the corner. Solo fires back with a series of right hands, but Sheamus responds with several of his own and follows it up with a clothesline as he delivers a splash in the corner and then lands a body slam and delivers the 10 beats of the Bodhrán. Sheamus sets up for the brogue kick, but Solo catches him with a super kick. Sheamus then gets Solo up on his shoulders and lands the white noise and goes for a pin. Solo kicks out. Sheamus sets up for the Celtic Cross, but Solo escapes and delivers a Samoan spike that sends Sheamus tumbling to the outside. He sends Sheamus on top of the announce desk with the Uranagi, and then sits him up against the barricade and delivers a hip attack to Sheamus through the barricade. The referee calls for the bell after determining that Sheamus cannot continue. Your winner, obviously, is Solo Sikoa due to referee stoppage. And, officials run down. Solo, the referee stopped. Sheamus can't continue, so Solo Sikoa won via referee stoppage. Referees run down to help Sheamus, but Solo levels them. The Usos music hits, and the Usos make their way down to the ring. Jimmy and Jay delivers a series of super kicks to Solo in the center of the ring, and the Usos land the Uso splash, the double Uso splash to Solo. So, some pretty crazy stuff there, guys. Pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, it's pretty, it was a good match. The ending was good with the Usos taking out Solo and everything else. You know, I thought that was all good. So, I mean, things like that, you know, really good stuff. Everything else on SmackDown besides the beginning of the show with the Usos and the end of it again with the Usos, not that great. You know, just the beginning and end with the Usos was good. Everything else was not that great, to be honest with you. So let's see. Now, that was all we had for SmackDown, folks. Invincible, yeah, I know. Collision has been great. I don't know when I'm going to get the reviews for it. I'm reviewing Rampage next, and that'll be it. Still getting graphic work done for Collision and a complete overhaul on a bunch of different shows and everything else. But when I get that started, I'll let you know. But yeah, you know, so far, you know, Collision has been great. It really has been great. I do gotta admit. But yeah, SmackDown, guys, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it for SmackDown. You know, SmackDown was very middle of the road. It wasn't overly bad, but it wasn't good either. See, this is the point that I have to drag across to so many people, because it's not like this show was really good, you know? As far as what I would rate the show, Oh, I'll be watching Forbidden Door for sure. I will be watching it. I mean, that's a huge, huge, huge show for Forbidden Door. I can't wait. I really can't. It's going to be incredible. I hope a lot of you will be checking out Forbidden Door as well. I know I will be. But yeah, it's going to be great. I'll be reviewing it tomorrow sometime after Forbidden Door. You know, we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. But, I always got something going on here for you guys, trust me. But now, as far as what do I got to rate the show, guys? What do I got to rate the show on a scale of 1 to 10? For WWE Friday Night SmackDown, well, three best moments and three worst moments from SmackDown. It says, Vince McMahon reportedly made major changes to the show last minute, but even with the show made up of matches and segments we didn't expect to see, it had some thrilling highs with the not so thrilling lows. Titles were unified, missing stars returned, and brothers reaffirmed their bonds while laying down the gauntlet for other members of their famous family. So, it says, best, welcome back to the Uso Penitentiary. Which they're saying, you know, it's because of the best story in pro wrestling. But, let's see. They're saying worst. We're not heading toward a Roman Reigns redemption arc, are we? I hope not. I really hope not. Another best, this says up and coming heels getting big wins. Worst of SmackDown, it says damaged control. Well, yeah, because damaged control just sucks. Best, Liv Morgan is back. Honestly, Liv Morgan, I don't know. Liv Morgan is one of those you can go with or without. Worst, it says rest in peace to the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships 2021 to 2023. Yeah, because now Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, they unified them. That they did, they unified them. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler did. But yeah, that was everything for Friday Night SmackDown. So now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do I rate WWE Friday Night SmackDown? I mean, to be honest with you, show was okay. It was nothing great, by any stretch of the means. But, it wasn't bad, like overly bad either. But if this is what the shows are going to be, week in and week out, especially when this Bloodline storyline hits a conclusion, people are just really going to be pissed off with the whole entire thing. They're going to have enough, they're going to be pissed off, and they're basically going to say, just screw it. And, I wouldn't blame people for feeling that way either. I mean, you can't blame people for feeling that way. So I would say WWE Friday Night SmackDown for Friday. June 23rd, 2023. I'm going to give WWE Friday Night SmackDown a 6 out of 10. It was decent, average to decent show, but it had a whole lot of, just middle of the road, nothing matches that were just as boring as anything you can imagine, but still not, overly bad enough to where you give it a thumbs down because of everything going on with the Bloodline right now. That's where they salvaged this show. That's where this show got salvaged at, but Roman Reigns, he's the best part of the show. I think he definitely needs to start working full-time somehow. I know he started taking less dates, last year, but still, he's the best part of the entire show. If you don't have Roman, you're just missing out on a whole piece of this show entirely. And that's just me being straight up honest. Roman, really does put this whole puzzle together, everything, that everybody might be missing. Look at the title run now, passing Pedro Morales today from 1,027 days to 1,028 days. So Roman Reigns is now in the top 5, everybody. If you can believe that or not. For longest title runs. And I like it. I wish that he would break Bruno's run, but that's never going to happen. And I think we know that. In all seriousness, I think we know that. But yeah, 6 out of 10 is where I'm at here with this. And we'll see what happens next week going into SmackDown. Do these drastic changes continue from Vince McMahon? I don't know. But it looks like Vince is already trying to sink his claws in and get his smell all over the place, real fast. As fast as he can. Vince just drives me nuts, guys. He drives me nuts. Who likes him? I don't. He doesn't do any good stories. He doesn't. He used to do great stories all the time. You know, you go throughout the Attitude Era, I mean, you had some of the best television that you could possibly ask for. Now, forget it. Forget it. Really. You don't get anything good out of Vince anymore. Oh my God. Invincible. Definitely Vince. Trump's a great leader, great president, everything. So, Vince definitely bigger ego. No doubt. No doubt about it. Vince's ego is unmatched. Vince's ego is 100% completely unmatched. Because Vince, he couldn't stand watching his own company thrive under the leadership of Triple H. You know, under the leadership of Triple H and his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, Vince couldn't take it. He couldn't handle it, and he had to find a way to get himself back in. And that's exactly what he did. He found himself a way to get back in to WWE. And now he's just going to do his little remote things, and, you know, he's going to keep it this way. Because Vince has to be involved in some capacity. He can't stand other people running his product. A complete madman. Vince McMahon is a complete madman, for sure. I mean, he really is, but yeah, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be back right here in about 20 minutes or so to start AEW Rampage. And we'll do AEW Rampage review results, and that'll close it up for tonight. And then tomorrow I'll be back with Forbidden Door, but got one more show tonight. So I hope you guys will come back and check it out. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for SmackDown. But yeah. Vince McMahon, his changes were felt. You know what parts Vince changed. You could just feel it, you know, whenever something's run by Vince, it's not the same as when it's done by anybody else. Vince's stuff just has a certain feeling. Alright, Invincible, hey, I'll see you there. And, yeah, guys, so thank you very much. Like I said, don't forget to check out all my social medias, my website. You can call into the show live on Skype. You know, whenever I'm live, you guys are more than welcome. And don't forget to leave your likes, comments, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. And yes, there will be a next time for me. Right here on Beyond the Ring with Big T. That'll be for your AEW Rampage review and results show. That'll be coming your way next. Right here on Beyond the Ring with Big T. So you guys are going to want to check that out. AEW Rampage review results next. And don't forget us, so we won't forget you. And of course, if you want the best, and yes, I do mean the absolute best for all of your professional wrestling needs, right here on the internet, right here on YouTube.com today. Always remember to think Beyond the Ring with Big T. And then, of course, everybody, thank you very much for watching and listening to your WWE Friday Night SmackDown review results show for today, Friday, June 23rd, 2023. And cheers to all you guys. Rampage was last night right after SmackDown. Yeah, Rampage was last night after SmackDown. And your Fiji fact on the back right here. Natural electrolytes right there with all the E's on the bottle. There's electrolyte enhanced water. And then there's the Smarter Choice Fiji water. Not only does Fiji have significantly more electrolytes than other brands, Ours are naturally occurring. How? As tropical rain slowly filters through volcanic rock, it gathers the electrolytes and minerals that gives Fiji water its signature smooth mouthfeel. How smart is that? Damn right. Because Fiji's the best. It's such good shit, pal. But, yeah, everybody, so always remember, never ever forget, I'm your host, Big T. I'll see all of you at the matches. I'll see all of you for AEW Rampage review results coming up next. Take care, everybody. I love you all. And, of course, good night, everybody. Ha, 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 ha.
This is M-Dog 20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you are checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring.